Hi everyone, I'm Cheryl and welcome to the Sewing Room channel. In this tutorial, I'm going to demonstrate how to make a bib apron. Now you can use any standard bib apron pattern out there. All of your pattern companies make a bib apron. You can go to Joann's, they have multiple books there to look through where you can purchase a basic bib apron. Just look for one that says easy or sewing for dummies, things like that, because the steps, the pattern will be really easy to follow. I'll also give you suggestions on putting little pieces of fabric on it to kind of dress it up a little, as you can see by some of the bib aprons that are behind me. So you can make them plain or you can really dress them up. Okay, let's get started. When you open up your pattern envelope, your pattern piece is probably going to look like this. It looks like half of the apron. This one edge here is placed on the folded edge of your fabric. In other words, your fabric raw edges are brought together, or the selvage edges. That's over here. Then you place your pattern piece on the fold line, pin it down, and then cut on the edge of your pattern piece. Now let's say you do want a different color of fabric on the bib section of your apron. I recommend that you sew your two pieces of fabric together first before you cut your pattern out. So just stitch it together, fold your fabric, bringing the edges together, place your pattern piece right on that folded edge. Place it wherever you want your fabric to appear. So this is the top part, so you can move this up a little bit if you like, or you can move down a little bit. So this is the stitch line, that's representing the stitch line. Then you would go ahead, pin it down, and then cut it out. Now, if you're going to use your embroidery machine, take this top fabric before you stitch it to the other fabric. Then do your embroidery design. Make sure you cut a large piece of fabric so that you have enough to place all of this together. Stitch your pattern out on your embroidery machine, fold the fabric, place the pattern so that, or fold the fabric so half of the heart shows here. Then place your pattern piece down and then cut it out. So if you're going to do the heart applique, you can draw your heart any shape that you like. There's also templates that you can purchase. They are made by June Taylor. I bought mine at Joann Fabrics and Crafts. You can also get them on Amazon. There's 5 different heart shapes in it. So I'm going to show you the easiest way that I know to do this heart applique. Anybody can do it. Beginners, yes, you can do this. So here is my fabric that I want the heart to be out of. And this is the front side of the fabric, which is also the pretty side, or it's called right side. I'm using fusible interfacing. It's made by Pellon. Any fusible interfacing will do. Mine is kind of a light or medium weight interfacing. It's got beads of glue on one side and it's very smooth on the other side. Place the beaded side of glue against the pretty side of your fabric. Put your heart template on top and then trace around it. Stitch right on top of your drawn line. And before you begin to stitch, you want to pin your fabric pieces together. When you go to cut your heart shape out, go out about 1/4 of an inch. If you have pinking shears, you can use pinking shears if you like to cut around it. If you don't have pinking shears, still go out 1/4 of an inch and then do little clips all the way around, because this is just nothing but curved edges. You do the clips so that it will lay flatter when you turn it front side out. Before you turn it front side out, get a hold of your interfacing here. Just pull the two pieces of fabric apart and cut a big hole in it. Then reach inside and begin turning it front side out. So after turning it front side out, here's the front of it where the fabric is, and then on the back you can see my big hole. Now if it tears a little bit while you're turning it front side out, don't worry about it, because this is all going to get taken care of in a moment. Now I'm using this little pot holder as an example of what to do next. So you can apply this heart applique to basically anything you're making. So you would place it at the top of your bib apron. Don't place it right on the edge. You want to leave maybe a couple of inches from the very top of your apron and then place it down and center it. Then go to your ironing board and you're going to place a damp cloth over the top. Place a hot iron with steam and hold it down for 10-15 seconds, somewhere around in there. If it didn't stick right away, just put your iron back down on top and leave it down there a little bit longer. Then you need to select an applique stitch that you want to do. Now here are some of the applique stitches on my sewing machine. This is my favorite applique stitch, but if you have an older machine, you don't have any applique stitches, you can still use a zigzag stitch. I would widen it a little bit and make it shorter so that the zigzag stitches are really close together. You'll go around all of the edges, and then when you're done, it should look something like this. Now your apron pattern may not have you line it. It may show you different instructions, but I'm going to show you how easy it is to line it and make your fabric or your theme different on the opposite side. So I have Valentine on one side and Easter on the other. So go ahead and cut out a second piece of fabric for the lining on the back. So now bring front sides together of the fabric that's going to be on the back side and then the fabric on the top. Now remember, I have a different color of fabric up here. I also chose to use my embroidery machine to embroider something up here. Then you're going to stitch the top edge together and along the sides, across the bottom, and up along the other side. Do not stitch this area here closed just yet. Once you've done that, then you're going to go to these corners, take a small pair of scissors, and do little clips along here, or you can use your pinking shears and cut along this edge. Now go in through the top side area and reach inside and turn it front side out. Once you've turned it front side out, just reach inside and push the corners out all the way. And if you push against that seam, it'll help it pop out really, really nice. Then take this to your ironing board and press all of your seams, the seam up here at the top and the seam along the side and bottom edge. After you've pressed your seams, then up at the top, stitch about 1/8 of an inch from the edge all the way across. And then starting over here, do the same thing, stitch 1/8 of an inch away from the edge all the way over to this side. I'm using Wright's bias tape. This is the brand name. You can get it at Walmart, you can get it at Joann Fabrics and Crafts, and you can also get it on Amazon.com. And I'm using 1/2 inch wide bias tape. Find the center of your bias tape. So you'll fold your bias tape in half end to end and put a mark at the center. Take the bias tape and where it's at the center, place it over your head and around your neck, and then place pins where you would like the top of your bib apron to be. So you can place a pin here and then over on this side. When you look at your bias tape and you unfold it, and then fold it back. You want to look at which edge is not all the way folded over to the other edge. For instance, this edge here sticks out farther than the top edge. Now it's not by much, it's just a little bit. So I'm putting the shorter side on top, and this is the side I'm going to be stitching on. Now I've used clips to hold my bias tape on. So you fold it over the edge. Remember, the shorter side is on top. You can use straight pins to hold your bias tape in place, or you can use these clips. So you want to clip it or pin it on both sides. Then put the apron on to make sure it's fitting properly. Also, if your bias tape is too long, where it's going to tie around your waist, at this point is where you can cut some of it off if you like. Before you begin stitching the bias tape down, go to each end of the bias tape, open it up, and then fold that raw edge in, and then fold it back over. And you can then pin this or clip it if you like. So now you're going to start sewing, and I would recommend you use thread that matches your bias tape. And so you're going to stitch all along the edge here. Stitch as close to the edge as you can. And you're just going to, let me unfold this. Then you're going to stitch all the way up here to the side of the apron and around the first side. Then continue stitching up around the part of the bias tape that goes around the neck, and then go ahead and stitch down the other side here all the way out to the end of the bias tape. So when you're done, this is what your side edges should look like. So now you're all done. Now what I did on mine, because I do have an embroidery machine, is I selected one of the heart shapes. It's kind of like something you can select in an embroidery machine. It's empty in the middle, and then you can put whatever you want in it. And since I love chocolate, I really do, especially dark chocolate, I decided to put Chocolate Lover in it. Now let me show you the other side. So one of my big reasons for choosing pink bias tape is my Easter egg fabric had a lot of pink in it. So it'll look good no matter what side is showing on the outside. If you're interested in other projects you can stitch for Valentine's Day or for Easter, either one, are these little fabric basket. And on this one, I put a little handle so that it would represent an Easter basket, and you can put candy in these. And here is another little fabric dish that you can make to put candy in it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and that you did learn something new. If you're interested in other apron projects, or you would like to make these little candy baskets, then check for the links below your YouTube screen in the description section. Just scroll down, click on Show More or the down arrow. It will expand open and you will begin to see the links appearing. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and check out my Facebook page. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and happy sewing. If you like the Sewing Room channel, one of the best ways to show your support is to subscribe by clicking on that red subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to click on share to share this video with your friends. And make sure you click on the bell so you receive notifications for all my new videos. I'm Cheryl. This is Manny, and this is Scotty. See you next time.